Good afternoon, my dear students. Welcome back to our moral science class. Today we are going to discuss our sixth lesson, Gandhiji. We all know who Gandhi is. The name itself determines what story is. Here we discuss two incidents that had happened in Gandhi's life. The educational value of these two incidents are love and respect for all. Gandhiji taught us to love and respect everyone. He loved the people of India like a father loves his children. Mahatma Gandhi, also known as father of our nation. His full name is Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. He was conferred by Mahatma, which means great soul, and his name was given by his great friend Rabindranath Tagore. Gandhi was born at Porbandar in Gujarat in October 2nd, 1869. So, every year we celebrate Gandhi Jayanti on October 2nd. Here, in this lesson, the first incident that had happened in his life was one day Gandhiji tried to board a train. At that time, one of his slippers slipped off and fell down on the railway track. He tried to pick up his slipper but wasn't able to do that because the train had started to move. That's why he took off his other slipper and thrown onto the track that was close to the first one. There were some people who noticed what was happening. Some were surprised. Some thought he was foolish. Then one of the people asked him, "Why did you throw your slipper so close to the first one?" Gandhiji smiled and replied, "When a poor man finds the both slippers on the track, that will be a helping for him, because he had a pair he could use." Gandhi was not a born leader. He was a simple man leading a simple life. But strongly he believed in and practiced the value of unity, equality, truth, non-violence, justice, and honesty. His values and personality were instrumental. The second incident was one day when a small boy visited Gandhiji in the ashram. We all know his dressing style was very simple and he wore only a loin cloth, which he made himself. The small boy who asked him, "Babuji, don't you feel cold when you wear this cloth only? Why don't you wear a kurta?" Gandhiji smiled and replied, "I'm too poor, so I cannot buy a kurta." The boy thought and found a solution. "My mother could stitch a kurta for you." Gandhiji asked the little boy, "How many kurtas can she stitch?" Again the little boy said, "How many of them do you want?" Gandhiji smiled and said, "I need over 100 million. The little boy was surprised and asked, "Why would you need so many kurtas?" Here we are able to understand the character of Gandhi. He said he was over 1,000,000 brothers and sisters. If they don't have a kurta for each, how can I wear a kurta alone? The boy understood how much Gandhiji loved his countrymen as his own family. Here we can understand the universal love and brotherhood nature of our father. Some of Gandhi's outstanding traits were his authentic appearance, almost always half naked, his charisma and knowledge, with an influence transcending the ages, becoming greater and gaining more respect and followers after his death. Now we are going to read our lesson. So all of you take your textbook and open page number 25. The name of our sixth lesson is Gandhiji. Here you can see one thought that is written for your understanding. Gandhiji taught us to love and respect everyone. He loved the people of India like a father loves his children. We should also love everyone in this world. In this thought, we can understand Mahatma Gandhi was a champion of love revolution. For him, love should permeate all and every aspect of our lives. He said, where there is love, there is life. And where there is love, there is light. Love as a basis of personal relationships has been accepted and advocated by many. Now we are going to read the lesson. Here there are two incidents that had happened in Gandhi's life. Love and love all. All of you put a pencil and try to read together. Once, when Gandhiji was trying to board a train, one of his chappals slipped off and fell on the track. The train started moving and he was unable to pick it up. Gandhiji quickly took off the other chappal and threw it on the track close to the first one. People were surprised. Some thought he was being foolish. Here the first incident happened. Once Gandhiji was trying to board a train, one of his chappal, one of his slipper was slipped off and fell on the track. So he tried to pick up the chappal, but the train started moving. That's why he cannot able to pick up his chappal. Gandhiji quickly took off the other chappal and threw it on the track close to the first one. So some of the people are surprised and some thought he was being foolish. One of them asked, "Why did you do that?" One of them asked, "Why did you do that?" Gandhiji smiled and replied, "The poor man who finds them on the track will have a pair he can use." Gandhiji smiled and replied, "The poor man who finds them on the track will have a pair he can use." Through this incident, we can see Gandhi thinks only the poor because they have to complete their basic needs. He loves the people of India like a father loves his children. He believed that the disparity between the rich and the poor was not right. He believed that the wealthy should have enough to meet their needs, but that they should take upon themselves to give their excess away voluntarily. Then all of you try to read together. Gandhiji led a very simple life. He wore only a loin cloth which he made himself. One day a small boy visited Gandhiji in the ashram. One day a small boy visited Gandhiji in the ashram. He said, "Babuji, don't you feel cold? Why don't you wear a kurta?" The boy said, "Babuji, don't you feel cold? Why don't you wear a kurta?" Gandhiji smiled and said, "I am too poor. I cannot buy kurta." Gandhiji smiled and said, "I am too poor. I cannot buy a kurta." The boy thought for a while and said, "My mother can stitch a kurta for you." The boy thought for a while and said, "My mother can stitch a kurta for you." "How many kurtas can she stitch?" "How many kurtas can she stitch?" "How many do you want?" The boy said, "How many do you want?" Gandhiji smiled and said, "I need over 100 million. Gandhiji smiled and said, "I need over 100 million. The boy was puzzled. He asked, "Why would you need so many kurtas?" He asked, "Why would you need so many kurtas?" You see, I have over 1,000,000 brothers and sisters. You see, I have over 1,000,000 brothers and sisters. If they don't have a kurta each, how can I alone wear a kurta? If they don't have a kurta each, how can I alone wear a kurta? The boy understood that Gandhiji loved his countrymen as his own family. Here, the boy understood that Gandhiji loved his countrymen as his own family. Here we can understand Gandhi led a very simple life. He often dressed only in a loin cloth and shawl. The Gandhian strategy is the combination of truth, sacrifice, non-violence, selfless service, and cooperation. He should present his views, suggestions, and thoughts without being violent. Here, the educational value of this story is universal love and brotherhood. Dear students, now we finished our 6th lesson. So, all of you try to read and understand the lesson well. Today, I give you an assignment for you in page number 29. Here, you can see there are 2 value boxes. One box is of good values and the other one is bad values. So, you should read and understand the values and write the following values in the right box. You should write and submit your assignment before 10th November. Okay students, see you next class. Thank you.